Welcome back, dear viewers, to another episode of The Gossip Historian, where we spill tea just like it's 1773. Today, we are diving into the intriguing and scandalous life of one of history's most enigmatic figures. Her name, Mata Hari, a name that evokes mystery, allure, and danger. From her humble beginnings as a Dutch girl to her rise and fall as an exotic dancer turned spy, Mata Hari's life has intrigued and fascinated us for over a century. So grab your cup of tea or coffee and buckle up because we are about to embark on a captivating journey into the life of the infamous Mata Hari. Stay tuned because you won't want to miss this. Mata Hari, the infamous Femme Fatale, was actually born as Margaretha Geertruida Zell. Quite a mouthful, right? No wonder she went with Mata Hari. The name Mata Hari rolls off the tongue with the same exotic allure that she herself possessed. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Before the intrigue, the scandal, and the fame, she was just Margaretha, a Dutch girl with a name longer than a winter night in the Netherlands. Despite her demure beginnings, Margaretha's story quickly takes a turn for the extraordinary. From a quiet Dutch town to the glitz and glamour of Paris, her life was anything but ordinary. And that's putting it mildly. She was a woman of many talents, and even more secrets. So why did a Dutch girl like Margaretha become the exotic Mata Hari? Stick around and you'll find out. Margaretha didn't just wake up one day and decide to become Mata Hari, the exotic dancer. It was a bit more complicated than that. Our tale begins with a young Dutch girl, Margaretha Geertruida Zell, born in the late 19th century in the Netherlands. Picture this: a young girl, full of life, running around in clogs, nibbling on Gouda cheese. Okay, maybe not the cheese part, but you get the drift. Life was pretty simple, but it took a turn when she married an officer in the Dutch army. Ah, young love, so full of hope and optimism, right? But here's the twist. The dashing officer was posted in Indonesia, and off they went, swapping windmills for palm trees. In Indonesia, Margaretha became fascinated with the local culture. She learned the language, embraced the traditional dress, and even picked up a few dance moves. She was like a sponge, soaking up everything around her. But let's be real, it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows. Her marriage was a roller coaster of highs and lows, and eventually it crashed. Now, a lesser woman might have packed her bags and returned home. But not Margaretha. She saw an opportunity. She reinvented herself as Mata Hari, an exotic dancer. She combined her Dutch roots with her love for Indonesian culture and created a persona that was as intriguing as it was scandalous. Picture this: a Dutch woman, draped in Indonesian fabrics, dancing sensually to traditional music. It was exotic, it was enticing, it was everything the European audience craved. And just like that, Margaretha, the Dutch girl from the Netherlands, became Mata Hari, the exotic dancer. Remember, this was the early 20th century. Women didn't just up and change their lives like that. But Mata Hari wasn't your average woman. She was bold, she was daring, and she was ready to take on the world. Just a regular Dutch girl moving to Indonesia, becoming an exotic dancer, and then a spy. Nothing out of the ordinary, right? So, Mata Hari, the exotic dancer, is now a spy. Or is she? It's an intriguing twist in our tale, isn't it? Mata Hari, the lady known for her hypnotizing belly rolls and sultry eyes, is accused of being a spy. Now, I'm no expert, but I'm pretty sure that espionage school doesn't offer a course in belly dancing. But hey, who am I to judge? Our Mata Hari was living in Paris when World War I broke out. She was a woman of the world, mingling with high-ranking military officers, politicians, and the like. Quite a social butterfly, our Mata Hari. But could this socializing be seen as suspicious? Well, the French certainly thought so. They arrested her in 1917 on charges of espionage. Apparently, they believed she was using her charm to extract military secrets from her unsuspecting admirers. A classic femme fatale, if you will. But let's take a moment to digest this. Mata Hari, a woman who made a living by dancing semi-nude, is suddenly a mastermind spy? I mean, wouldn't her career choice make her a bit conspicuous? It's hard to blend into the crowd when you're known for your, exotic performances. But perhaps that was her genius, hiding in plain sight. Then again, it's equally possible that Mata Hari was just an easy scapegoat. A woman of her reputation, moving in those circles during a time of war? It could have been all too easy to pin the blame on her. So was Mata Hari really a spy? Or just a woman caught up in a whirlwind of suspicion and paranoia? We may never know the truth. Well, that escalated quickly. From dancing to potentially causing international incidents. Talk about a career change. You'd think being accused of being a spy was the climax of Mata Hari's life, but oh boy, you'd be wrong. Now, imagine for a moment, You're Matahari, sitting in a cold, dimly lit room. You've got the style, the charm, you've lived a life of scandal, seduction, and espionage. You've been a Dutch girl, an exotic dancer, and now accused of being a double agent during the First World War. Quite the resume, wouldn't you say? So, what's next? Well, as it turns out, the French weren't too fond of Matahari's alleged double dealings. She was put on trial in July of 1917, charged with spying for Germany and causing the deaths of at least 50,000 soldiers. Now, here's where it gets even more dramatic. Matahari, ever the performer, insisted on her innocence throughout the trial. She told the court she was a scapegoat, a victim of war hysteria. Plot twist, right? But the jury wasn't having any of it. They found her guilty and sentenced her to death. And so, on chilly October morning, Matahari faced her execution with the same defiance she'd shown her entire life. No blindfold, no bonds. She stood tall, stared down the firing squad, and met her end with a dramatic kiss blown to the soldiers. Now, if that's not a movie-worthy ending, I don't know what is. But before we roll the credits on the Matahari show, let's pause for a moment. Was really a spy, or just a woman caught up in a world of men and war? Did she truly cause the deaths of 50,000 soldiers, or was she just a convenient scapegoat? And they say life is stranger than fiction. Matahari's case? It certainly seems to be true. So, what's the truth behind Matahari, the woman who's gone from a suspected spy to a legend? Let's recap. She was just any dancer, but a dancer with a dash of the scandalous, pushing the boundaries of what was considered decent in the early 20th century. She was the talk of the town, the woman who dared to bear it all, captivating audiences with her performances. But was she more than just a dancer? Some would say yes. During World War I, Matahari was accused of being a double agent for both and Germany. Despite the serious allegations, there's little concrete evidence to prove that she was indeed a spy. Many historians believe that she was merely a scapegoat, used to distract from the real issues at hand during the war. And then there's her shocking end. In 1917, Matahari was executed by firing squad, maintaining her innocence until the very end. Her death only added to her legend, turning her into a symbol of intrigue and mystery. But was she truly guilty? Or was she, as some suggest, an innocent woman caught in the crossfire of a world at war? The truth behind the legend of Matahari is as elusive as the woman herself. Over a century later, we're still trying to piece together the puzzle that is her life. Was she a cunning double agent or just a misunderstood entertainer? The world may never know. And there you have it, Matahari, a woman of mystery, scandal, and intrigue. A life full of twists and turns, proving that sometimes truth really is stranger than fiction. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe for more juicy, scandalous lessons in history.